All right, I'm Tim,
And I'm Matt.
and we are playing more Batman. So if you haven't already checked it out, we have the NES Batman video posted up on Retrotakeout, and today we are playing the Genesis version with the much more flippier bat sign.
I'm glad you talked all the way through that because it flips for a very, very long time. In fact, it's still flipping.
Did Two-Face direct this? This is a lot of flipping.
Can I ask you a question before we
Sure.
start? Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Do you say that before all your victims that you kill?
No.
Well,
Trust me, playing through both of these games wanted me to murder Bruce Wayne's parents myself.
Because neither does Joker. He definitely shoots both of Batman's parents before he asks him that as Bruce Wayne, and then doesn't kill him.
Yes, citizens of Gotham City.
You either have to read this in the Batman voice, or you need to read it in like the old-timey news guy, like, the citizens of Gotham City are here creating up for the city's 200th anniversary festival. Because of their differences. So Grimson.
Yeah, Carl Grissom and Jack Napier.
Batman.
And there's Batman.
So, all right. What other than so far the graphics, what does Genesis do that Nintendo don't?
Well, I mean, like you said, this is a 16-bit version of the game versus an 8-bit version of the game. I know you said besides that, but I've still had to insert that there.
Well, you can really see the blast processing with all of these scrolling text.
Right, we've been through 5 minutes of this so far.
Did they do the entire, like...
You don't even need to watch the movie.
No, this is the script.
You just need to turn on your Sega Genesis and read through the intro. And you do not need to watch the 1989 Warner Brothers rendition of Batman.
Clearly, this covers everything.
Mm-hmm. All the main characters. There's Vicky Vale. This will be one of the only times that you see her in the entire game.
I mean, I know she's not moving, but this is still better graphics than anything off a Sega CD.
Oh, for sure.
This would be all full motion video.
This is a much better game than the Sega CD version. Sega!
And more flippy bat sign.
Yeah, I hope you have more content to talk through for the flippy bat
for the
sign.
next flippy bat sign. I could try and talk about the bat sign itself. This was made for the 1989 movie. Until then, it looked slightly different. Most people wouldn't get it.
Yep, again, very colorful. A few things that are different. I feel like this one actually ties in a lot closer to the movie. You'll see as we get going.
So this is yet again by Sunsoft too.
Yep. This one actually has a difficulty setting and a live setting. I'm turning the lives up because I've only played this a handful of times, and it's easier than the NES version, but it's still a challenging game.
This sort of looks a little bit like the Batman Forever game.
Yeah, it's definitely. I like this one a lot better. So like I said, it ties a lot closer in with the movie than the NES version. So you'll see, like, you're starting off and it actually shows you in the Gotham City street. This is kind of a cool, like, rain mechanic.
That's the rain mechanic?
Yep, so it just rains there for a second. All these guys are pretty much one-shot deaths, except for the guys that drop down. I think they take 2 punches.
Can you throw any of the stuff on the street, like the trash can or any of that?
Unfortunately, no.
That's a good old beat-em-up mechanic that is always spectacular.
Yeah, a lot of this. Honestly, like, this game's a lot more basic than the NES version. So you only get batarangs as opposed to
instead of the 3 weapons.
Instead of the 3 weapons that you had in the NES version. Punching is going to be, your primary mode of attack. You can crouch and you can kick, which you couldn't do in the NES version. But for the most part, it's just you're using hands and feet as opposed to relying
it's like
on some
a little
weapons.
less platforming. This is almost like Bats of Rage.
Kind of. It's pretty much 2D though. You're not moving up and down where you would in like Streets of Rage or Final Fight. So you're pretty much on one plane.
One plane.
So this is the first level boss. This game's pretty short as well. I found that the easiest way to fight him is just to hit him from behind. So jump over him and then hit him from behind. He has boxing gloves on, and he's pretty much throwing combinations. And when he throws that combination, that's your time
That's
to
your
attack.
to jump in and punch him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
True Batman fashion.
Yep. Another thing that's different, you don't have a wall jump in this game, but you do have this double jump, which goes into a flip, which is going to help you get to harder areas when it comes to platforming. So that's the first level.
They at least tell us where we are now.
Yeah, so this is the Axis Chemical Factory, which is, a place that's visited very early on in the movie. And it looks like a chemical factory with the lasers.
So this is the place in the movie where Jack Napier becomes the Joker.
That's correct.
After he's pushed into the vat of chemicals.
Yeah.
Without drowning.
Yep, so all these guys are one-shot kills.
They have an interesting attack mechanic of I want to slide underneath that.
Yeah. One other thing that you do have, you'll see here, is a grappling hook to get up to.
Oh, so
higher
instead of the
areas.
wall jump, you have a grappling hook in this. Nice
Yeah.
little foreground.
It's not as cool, but at least it's something.
I mean, where does he get these wonderful toys? Oh, bazooka guy.
Bazooka guy, he takes a couple of hits.
I feel like there's a couple OSHA violations in this chemical factory.
Oh,
right
for
now.
sure. You can't just be firing rocket propelled grenades and having like laser cannons, just
Might hit a factory worker.
cleanse the
at that
floor,
point.
right? All right, there's
Bob,
there's
fired.
there's been an accident report or two filled out in this factory.
No railings
just
anywhere.
Just waiting out the. Right, you got to walk. There's no like floors at this point. You're just walking on pipes. Yep, that's that double jump.
Game looks clean though overall.
Yeah, it's not bad. Up there's
It's
a
just
death.
good explosion.
You're gonna
mechanics.
respawn pretty much right where you leave off.
Oh, so that's almost like a beat 'em up style too, where you're just
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, you don't have to repeat. There's no like checkpoints or any spots to. You're not gonna have to do anything over. You just go until you run out of lives. It's more of that grappling hook.
So this one you're just straight up going, literally straight up.
Yeah.
A little muted color palette comparatively to the NES game too.
Yeah, I think the NES version was actually a little bit more colorful. All right, so this is the second level boss, which is Jack Napier. You really just have to hit him once, and he falls into that vat of green shit and turns into the Joker.
The old Flukenheim.
Yeah, the Flugelheim with the descending the chandeliers like that are like the
They're from Phantom of the Opera, I'm pretty sure. That's why they just constantly fall on people.
the Castlevania crushers. This guy throws axes. He takes a lot of hits. The other enemy in this level are guys with pistols. This is where like the real fucked up platforming comes into play. You can lose a lot of lives quickly in this level. It's weird. You don't know when to single jump and you don't know when to double jump, because that double jump, once you do it, you're committed. There's no adjusting.
Oh, there's no adjusting out of it.
Nope. There's a one up for safety right there. There have been times when I've gotten it and then just immediately fell into this pit right here.
These are the ones that dare you to jump from platform to platform.
Does your local museum have rotating spike crushers throughout?
I'm pretty sure it does. I could be wrong. I haven't been there in a while.
Yep, definitely need that health pickup right there. This next part's pretty tough. You got a lot of these axe throwers that...
So E's on the bottom are for enemy? Up to two enemies? Or
Yeah,
are
it's
those
kind of
you?
like... It's not to compare to games, from other developers, but it's kind of like Castlevania. Your health bar is there, and then your enemy health take, when applicable, is also on the screen.
Yeah. Well, they both clearly are marked between E for enemy and E for energy. So.
Well, I think the bottom one is actually a B for Batman.
Oh, for Batman?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the one on top is E
it's
for
hard
enemy.
to see for here.
Yeah. So this part's extremely dangerous, especially with those axe throwers, because you got very small platforms, and there is knockback when you do get hit. So it's very easy to fall into those pits.
Is it knockback across the whole platform, even on the ground?
It'll hit you far enough to where you're falling into that pit. So we're gonna go up from here in a minute. So I'm gonna grab more of those batarangs because I used a bunch of them to hit that guy. Just patient platforming here.
Yeah. This is pure platform and gold right now.
It's pretty narrow on the ascent as far as like room for jumping.
Then there's your straight bruiser at the beginning, right at the top.
Yeah, just like surprise, you're gonna lose a whole lot of health before you.
Hi, Batman. My job is to stand here.
When I first played through, I wasn't sure if those stationary chandeliers were gonna like come loose and fall.
Oh yeah, I can see how that would throw you
just
off.
Coming through here very timidly.
Oh, I like that you can come up on that.
Yeah, so it's one of the few areas where you can go high or low, and it's better to go high right here because all the power-ups are up high. So you'll get a health refill. I think you get a weapon refill right here.
Oh, nice.
Which is good because you're going to need it, and then another health refill. I'm going to wait on it because this guy's a sub-boss. This isn't the final boss in the level.
Machete guy?
Yeah, Aladdin. Again, like the bosses seem to hit really, really quickly. So your window of opportunity is narrow.
It seems like the bosses in this are a little bit tougher because you have to straight fight them.
Just because, because, like I said, that window to counter is so small. So small.
I like they're putting several Joker appearances in this too.
Yeah,
he's
and
in the background. That's
also,
a nice
like
feature.
Some of the enemies, come from the movie. So there was Boombox Guy.
Yeah.
In the museum. I don't think you ever fight him, but you're fighting him here. A lot of the bosses have predictable patterns like the NES version did.
Mm-hmm.
With this guy, you just want to stay in close, wait for him to
kind of jump and then just hit him
attack.
in the
yeah. And then the only thing is you're only going to hit him like maybe once, maybe twice. You can't really like spam the punch button in order to register hits. Here's
That's
a cool
nice little
cutscene.
cutscene. Yeah. Back in the streets.
Yeah, but this time it's a driving.
Oh, it's a
section.
Batmobile level.
Yep. So this game also has a couple of driving stages. So you get a machine gun attack that's infinite, and then your batarangs now turn into rockets. So, panels have been thrown off of the dash. The gun turrets are up.
So is this like a bonus stage where you're just trying to collect as much as you can?
No, this is a real stage. Or
you
can lose real lives.
Well, yeah, but like in some of the Turtles games when they'd hit like the surfing stages where
it's comparable to that. Yeah.
Okay. Like you don't have to clear every enemy on the screen to keep going. It's
right.
They can blow past you if you straight up try and just avoid them all. You can make it to the end.
In a lot of instances, it's better to just avoid some of these vehicles as opposed to fighting them. These tanks especially, because they just continuously fire. It's just easier just to avoid them as opposed to trying to destroy them. So
yeah, this one's reminding me a lot more of a classic beat 'em up than the platforming of what. They're two distinctly different feels to the game.
Yeah, I did enjoy this aspect. In some ways, it just kind of like breaks up the stages a bit from just the beat 'em up sections. It just gives it a different dynamic.
This has got a lot more arcade feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not punishingly difficult like a
Yeah.
typical shooter would be.
No, this isn't Gradius.
No, it's it's definitely not Gradius. Kind of cool to have like the Joker mobiles that the movie had, where they were just those purple
and green cars,
purple sedans.
He had those pretty readily available too. For just turning into the Joker, he had to have gotten those into the paint shop.
Right. I don't understand the logic behind them. Like, if you're, Gotham City Police, there's no way you're not profiling those vehicles. They stick out like a sore thumb. Like, there's no way a law-abiding citizen is driving that purple car.
Like, hey, Commish, you think we should pull this guy over? He wasn't speeding. We gotta let him go. I'm pretty sure he works for the Joker. It says, I work for the Joker on the side.
Right.
Yeah, I know, but he wasn't swerving.
Yeah, the purple car with the giant Joker logo.
They had a machine gun. Yeah.
Fighting those tanks is cool. Shots just rainbow over you. You can just kind of sit in that safe zone and, just pummel them with machine gun fire. Did I die there? I did die there. You don't start from the beginning of the level.
Okay, yeah, you just start like midway through.
Yeah, there's like a checkpoint. In fact, you start at the boss. So here's Super Tank. I'm just using my rockets to wear down his energy as much as possible.
Looked like a fun little stage, though.
Yeah. This stage is tough. And this is the only one I think that didn't have like a title to it, unless it's still Gotham City.
I think it's still the streets,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep, you're fighting these clown enemies. These guys on these platforms, first of all, they're tough to hit. Secondly, they're tough not to get hit by. So you definitely need to be patient.
So you pointed out before we got started on this one, is because I have a cased version of this, and on the back of the case for Batman for Sunsoft, for Genesis, there's a picture of the NES game being played.
There is definitely a mistake. Yeah, if you look at, back in the day, like, the box art had, cutscenes from the game to kind of like, give you some insight to what you're getting yourself into.
It's what made you want to rent it or buy it.
Exactly. But yeah, the Sega Genesis box actually has images from the NES game. It's the first level boss. So here's a little secret that I learned. If you jump off at this point right here, there's a whole bunch of 1-ups. So you're gonna spend a life.
You can grind them a little bit.
Yeah, but you can grab up to 3. So I think you can have 9 lives total. But then you're gonna lose 1 jumping off of there. So I at least have 8 lives as opposed to the 4 or 3 that I had before. But you're gonna need them coming up.
Yeah, I hate flippy enemies. Almost as much as I hate like a Medusa head, but...
Yep, so here's Sword Guy.
Oh, he was in the movie. He actually was in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Batman just throat kicks him and he goes down.
And that's pretty much what you do here. You just stand stationary, you wait for him to jump, and you counter. And
I mean, Indiana Jones shot him, so it's
right. It's pretty much the equivalent. So that was an easy fight. So we're on to now it's a flying level. So we're getting pretty close to the end of the game here. So you're in the Batwing. Same thing. So your machine gun shots infinite, and you get rockets. The only thing that's different is, and this makes it really, really challenging, is when you try and turn. Your wings dip down and your hitbox becomes enormous.
Oh, okay.
So I'm using a lot more rockets in this portion just to clear these helicopters, because they move a lot more randomly than the cars did in the driving level.
Oh, and you have the balloons.
Yep, the gas balloons are present.
That's fun.
That the Joker used to murder the citizens of Gotham City with toxic gas.
They stole my balloons.
Yeah, it's the same one. The balloons do not differ in this version. This level is relatively short compared to
the Batmobile.
The Batmobile level, yeah.
So, if you hold the button down, are you getting full-on rapid fire? Or are you hitting it repeatedly for it?
You get like a burst, so if you do it in a rhythm, then it'll
almost be a continuous
It'll almost
fire.
be like a rapid fire, yeah. So at this point, I think I'm on a rocket, so I gotta kind of be careful, because I really don't want to do this over.
I know there are some games that you have to kind of rapidly fire yourself, and other ones you can just hold the button down, which is kind of nice. That's where I really like the turbo controllers for the ones that you have to keep hitting yourself.
Yeah, I think it's burst fire. All right, so this is the last level. We're in the cathedral. Again, the high-low portion of the screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to be switching back and forth between both. One, because you have to get through these walls. And then also there's power-ups in certain spots.
Overall, another well-designed level, though. It looks cool.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And it looks like it's Joker's henchmen versus the other one where they're much, much more generic. Like, as much as you're going to have generic guys in a beat-em-up game.
Yeah, they have the purple, members-only jackets. They still go down with one punch.
Yeah.
Typical superhero stuff. Yep, there's a health refill. Definitely need it.
Would have been fun for a bunch of, like, Bruce Wayne stages in this. He has to avoid people at the party.
Tutorial, just going through the Batcave. Push the C button to get into the Batmobile. Push the B button to make Alfred do something useless.
Watch Commissioner Gordon on a video camera. Spectacular. Eat soup with Vicky Vale. Oh no, you're in the dining room. Too large. This is just all single enemy on top.
Yep. Just wait for him to shoot and
duck.
And then just throw a punch and move on. All right, so now we're getting into boss rush. You're going to see a lot of refights from early
Yeah,
in the game.
Sega likes to do this.
I don't mind
I don't know if it feels like it's a Sega thing because in Turtles Hyperstone, they do this a lot where they'll reuse every enemy that you just fought in pretty short games.
Yeah, I've seen it in Sega Genesis games. I've seen it in NES games. Pretty much any retro platform that you can think of. I don't mind it as much as long as it's not like punishingly difficult. And I definitely like that. You can get health refills throughout. It's not like you got to fight 4 bosses back to back, and not take damage.
Yeah.
So here's more of those fire-breathing clowns. And then we're on to another boss battle. So this is the punching guy again, the boxing guy from the first level. The thing is like usually when you have a boss rush, a lot of times they'll have like, an abbreviated health bar where.
It's not as bad as the original boss.
This one isn't like that. Like I feel like they're completely full strength.
Yeah, that's how the Hyperstone heist was. That's probably one that I've played the most that's like that. Doesn't Mega Man do boss rushes like this too?
Yeah.
When you get to the Wily stages?
Yeah, in the Wily stages you're going to fight, the Robot Masters over. But again, you get health refills, after you defeat each one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this you're not getting too many health refills.
I think I had one. but I think it helps to know that like how to fight them since you've seen them previously.
Unless you just punch him in the dick.
Well, fuck him. He's shooting rockets at me. Yep, sword guy again. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, very much.
Except when he changes
The pattern.
the pattern.
So he does that. And done.
I think he has to be like pretty close to the edge of the screen in order for that to work. I think that's why he charged at me. Okay, boss, what do you need us to do? Okay, you stand on this platform and you don't move. You can look right, you can look left, but just stand here and shoot occasionally.
Just punch air and hope you hit Batman.
Okay, got it, boss. Yep, Boombox guy's brother. I think that's cool. Like his first move is to just toss the boombox at you. Yep, same thing. Just stay close, because he'll cover as much ground as you give him for that frog splash attack. So
So the closer you are, the shorter it's going to be.
yeah, and you definitely don't want to run out of real estate. Otherwise, you got to try and go under him, and you're risking getting hit.
So did you have any Batman stuff after this movie came out?
I think my brother got into collecting the toys more than I did. You remember those Tiger Electronic games?
Yeah.
I think I had a Batman version of
this.
Of that, yeah.
I had baseball. I might have had Batman. I definitely had a lunchbox, but I think I had more stuff from...
God, kids are so spoiled nowadays. We used to have Tiger Electronic games to try and entertain us for, like, you know, that car ride to your aunt's that's 5 hours away.
And my Tiger Electronic baseball was it was 2 buttons. It was hit and run. That was it. It was really hard.
You know, it just 8 AA batteries too.
Oh yeah. I think I had a Turtles one. That was definitely.
Yep, I definitely had the Ninja Turtles one too. But I think I had the Batman one as well.
I had more stuff from Batman Returns. Because I'm still a little young for stuff as it was coming out for Batman. If I got it, it would have been from my brother.
Yeah, I was pretty young when this movie came out in theaters. But definitely old enough to at least be into it and be allowed to view it and partake in all the merchandise that came from it.
Yeah, I think I only watched it on VHS and then just partook in merchandise from it.
And that's another thing. Kids are so spoiled nowadays. You can just download a HD version of it. I went back and recently viewed this movie on VHS.
So the VHS copy that I have is definitely one that my uncle taped off another tape, so the quality was like not quite there, but still really good for at the time.
Had that fun Cinemax opening to it. All right, so this is, a vertical climb through the cathedral. Now the henchmen are throwing sticks of dynamite, which do some pretty decent damage, and obviously the
flaming alligators.
Yeah, flaming alligators are hard to avoid. Yeah, I fell down a minute ago, so now I gotta... At least I didn't take a death, but now I have to do this part over.
Oh. Yeah, timing that looks like a bitch.
You'll see in a second, I think they're breakaway platforms, so you gotta get on them and get off them really quick. But yeah, all the enemies respawn. This part right here. Oh, I missed it again. Alright, so you get to see me do it a third time.
Oh, that's Those are tough jumps.
Yeah, I don't think I got into the doorway far enough in order to clear it.
Some of those
I bonked my bat ears on the on the ceiling.
Well, it's because you couldn't move your head. Like, Batman can't move his head in this version.
It's like a horse with blinders. No peripheral vision. Like, why don't these guys just stand to the right or left of him?
He has to literally move his entire shoulders to look over.
Right. Rocky Balboa has better vision than Batman does from a peripheral stance.
See that, Batman? He would have taken your head off.
The Joker would have caved your head in. Anytime to get a Rocky reference in is welcome, even for
well, ironically, Mickey was also the Penguin in the 1960s
in the
Batman.
60s TV series. That's right. Burgess Meredith was the Penguin. All right, so it ties
works.
in.
It works. My brother just started watching that with my nephew, and he completely didn't realize that Burgess Meredith was. I'm like, you know that Mickey's in that, right? Because they hadn't gotten to a Penguin episode yet.
I'm sure it blew his mind in like a good way.
Yeah, because he hasn't seen him since him and I used to watch him like on Fox after school or something.
Yes, and the good thing about that was you could watch the part 2 right after that. You didn't have to wait
a week. Yeah, because they just play them back to back.
Same bat time, same bat channel. All right, so we're coming up to the end here. Finally made that jump. I can't find a way to avoid
that.
Whatever that thing is. The spike slider. Oh, missed it there. All right, maybe I can. All right, so final boss time. You guessed it. It's the Joker. Top of the cathedral. So he's got similar weapons to the Joker did in the NES version. He still has
the long rifle,
the long
gun.
revolver, and then instead of like shooting lightning from the ceiling, he just generates it from his body. So it's a quick fight. I think I just wasted my batarangs at this point. Again, like the Joker is not going to fight fair, so he kind of like camped off screen right there, so you couldn't hit him. But this fight's much easier because, like I said earlier, you can take a death and you just start off if you have additional lives. I did like this end sequence. This is definitely like very colorful. You can see like all the plaid of the Joker's pants, and it's just very vibrant. Quick end scene, and then credits are gonna roll here.
Nice. Well, good job on both of these Batman
Thank
games. So we're going to be doing a few more of these where Matt's going to play through these games and try and give you some tips and tricks, and I am going to be your color commentator guiding you through this. But as for Retro Takeout goes, we will catch you as much as we can on the channel. I usually do Playing Games Poorly with Joe. Check out some of those. We have a couple fun ones coming up. I'm also podcasting on a weekly basis over at Screen Shuffle. You can find that on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. But as for Retro Takeout, make sure to like, subscribe, and catch our Facebook page and whatnot. So, anything else, Matt?
No, I really enjoyed playing through these games and having the opportunity to go through them and explore them, and just have bring back a little bit of nostalgia from my childhood. So I think that's what it's all about.
We're doing a little cross thing with all the big Batman 30. It's 30 years for this movie, so we're trying to do it as much as we can on all platforms. So maybe Joe and I will try and play it poorly. We haven't decided yet. These games look difficult.
They're tough for sure. I don't think this one's as tough as the NES version, but it's still pretty difficult.
All right, have a good week.
Thanks, guys.